So it's been a while since I sat down and watched an episode of Natsu no Taizai, aka Seven Deadly Sins. So season 2 is finally out. And I've gotta say, oh boy, it did not take long for things to get interesting again. We start off, I guess, with the dream sequence, with Elizabeth seeing Meliodas against 10 shadows, which becomes a plot purpose by the end of this episode. So it's been, I believe it's been 3+ years since we last had Nanatsu Taizai season 1. So the events of season 1 are brought to light within this dream sequence with Seven Sins and the Holy Knights. So that, and then we kick off, I guess, with everybody, with the exception of Bond, getting new duds. So I thought that was kind of neat. Received word that presenting medals because of obviously protecting the kingdom. So I thought that's kind of cool. It's still rebuilding. We get a revelation right from the get-go, and this is not the first episode. So to find out, Bond and Meliodas have a conversation. So Bond is like, "Yo, we need to talk. I'm out. I'm leaving Seven Deadly Sins because I got something to do, aka go to the Fairy King Forest." And that's going to be interesting because according to what King said, the Fairy King Forest is pretty much obliterated at this point. So I'm wondering. And then he pretty much asked, "Okay, so what's going on, Bond? Yeah, I want you to tell me the truth." So Bond's leaving the Seven Deadly Sins, and King's following him to find out what's going on. So they're not there to present the medals. By the way, we get the presentation of the medals, and before anything's said, Meliodas is like, "Yo, we got some protesters in the crowd, so step on up." So we couldn't find out the Pleiades of Ajla, or aka Scrubfest, coming to actually protest because obviously they weren't there to see the events of what happened with the Holy Knights in season 1. So they're like protesting, like, "Okay, we need to see this for ourselves if you're worthy of this." Bad move because they're challenged into a team battle. So didn't even go that long. Didn't go that long because Dogado, who I guess was the opponent for Meliodas, aka I guess a punching bag. It starts off, and then we come find out that Marlene had it. So Marlene hands Huck a device to like gauge a person's magic abilities. So that's it's kind of like a scout in a way, where unless you read one's abilities, and it's kind of like broken into 3 parts. If you concentrate hard enough, according to Marlene, you can break it down from the magic, force, and spirit. And this becomes a trope in the episode because obviously with Hawk is gauging Dogado, it's like, you're weaker than me, so you're not good enough to be my opponent, so I'll send you to Meliodas, which was what was going to happen anyway, which is funny. But by the end, when he's gauging the 7 Deadly Sins, they're all surpassed Hawk, which I thought was funny. So depending on certain circumstances, those levels can change. So I'm only assuming they can hide levels because, yeah, I think Meliodas is a lot higher than that. So that's just my opinion. But obviously we go into the fight between Meliodas and Dogado, and it's a wash because he's just dodging he's just blitzing his opponent's punches, avoiding all of them. He knocks him down to the ground. He's getting back up, and then you have Dogado pretty much putting down the Holy Knight. So, Hendrix or Dreyfus was nothing to. I guess they were nothing in the end because this is nothing. We can handle this. So, and that was a bad move. And I kind of like the speech we got from Meliodas, pretty much like saying, "Okay, you may have the strength, but you don't have it in here." He's now attacking the hits with one hand like it's nothing, and then he counterattacks, and then he obliterates the fingers of Dogado. So that's pretty much the end of the fight. And then before that, they pretty much put a stop to it, and then they bail because they're now going to realize, "Okay, you've shown your strength." So I definitely think because the Holy Knight Denzel's subordinate, so why introduce that if it's not going to play a factor down the line? So, but we come to find out there's more pressing matters at hand by the end of this episode, and like I said, when Meliodas pretty much points out King and Bond weren't here because obviously they left the 7 Deadly Sins, that's why Elizabeth's dream sequence that she had at the beginning of the episode kind of like, okay, maybe this is going to play out like it's supposed to. And then we saw 10 shadows appear, and obviously the 10 shadows referring to is the opponents that are going to go up against the 7 Deadly Sins. So now we know where we're heading, and by the end of the episode, with I guess Dreyfus finished with the ritual, and then I believe he had Henriksen at the end says, "Okay, I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to let you go because you helped us out, and you helped this man out." It turns out to be a replica or a lookalike of Meliodas. We get We get the reveals of each. Well, we don't get the names, full introductions, but we do get the appearance reveals of, I guess, the 10 shadows of against the 7 deadly sins. And now that Bond and King are kind of like absent, what's going to happen next? It looks like it's actually going to spill out in the second episode.
I also forgot to mention, when Bond is talking with the King, we actually get someone eavesdropping on the conversation, so I wonder who that is. It could be an enemy, we don't know. But obviously, we go over to Bartola, and he's explaining to Meliodas there's going to be a new threat. New signs, the 10 shadows, which we saw at the beginning of the episode, and then we see at the end of the episode, and that's kind of like the conflicts coming. So apparently they're going to be appearing in, I guess, the Kingdom of Camelot, which is where the, I guess, battle's going to take place. So, and the one thing I want to add to this is there's no way these guys are going to be scrubbed. They don't look it. So I definitely want to see what these guys can do. And the one thing I found very interesting is when Bartolo's telling us that everybody involved, in fact, all 7 deadly sins are there, even Bond and King, even though they left by the end of this episode, they were still included in that flashback sequence we got with Bartolo talking with Meliodas. So I definitely think they may be a target as well. So what do you think? So I definitely think these guys are going to be scrubs at all. In fact, one of the things you see, the most notable things you see is Meliodas, like, with a serious look on his face, was like, yeah, they're here. So we need to buckle up and go to Camelot.
So, like I said, things are heating up already. Like I said, it's been too long since we had full-on content like this. Another season of 7 Deadly Sins, and it looks like the action is going to pick up right where it left off. So down below. That's it from me. Thanks so much for watching. Like this review if you did appreciate it. Subscribe channel. Obviously, I'm going to be doing 7 Deadly Sins on a weekly basis. So subscribe channel for more 7 Deadly Sins. Catch you guys later.